What's going on, fam? Welcome to episode 7 and our final episode of Thriving Throughout. I mean, we really did it. We really got through a whole series talking about trauma in the Black community, and I'm so thankful that you guys have stuck with me up until this point. So, the moment we have been waiting for. Today, we are talking about thriving. For the last time for now, definitions. To thrive is to prosper or to flourish. Think of a baby or a plant that is grown in a positive and fertile environment. Stress-related growth refers to positive outcomes of stressful or traumatic events. So when I was doing my introduction videos, I talked about my definition of thriving and what I felt that thriving looked like in the Black community. I talked about wanting to see things like generational wealth, more emotionally healthy people and families, thriving in terms of developing more compassion and care and kindness for each other, and learning how to support each other as a community and as global citizens. There are so many ways for our communities to address thriving. Once again, thriving happens when you are in a fertile and supportive environment. If you recall from our last episode, we talked about steps to recovery and getting healthy. We can't thrive if we're not first healthy. But when all is said and done, we want to see thriving in areas of financial growth, entrepreneurship. We want to see healthy relationships among family, friends, and even in romantic partnerships, land ownership, academics and education, as well as physical health and mental wellness. As we established before, trauma is inevitable. You can't escape it. Racial trauma is built into our system, which means that we are going to experience racial trauma as time goes on. That doesn't mean that we can't be healthy, happy, and whole. Stress-related growth happens when a person goes through adversity and develops behaviors and characteristics that are more positive than negative. More compassion and patience, seeking information about whatever's going on so that they can positively affect change. So anybody who has faced a stressful or traumatic situation has the potential for negative or positive outcomes. A child who's been abused has the potential to continue the cycle of abuse or possibly engage in activities to support other victims of abuse. Stress-related growth specifically addresses people who have experienced something really negative, taken their experiences and turned it into something positive. Even if they don't spend their lives or careers righting the wrongs that were done to them, they may develop certain personality traits and characteristics that will cause them to be more empathetic toward other people who have been where they were. People who exhibit positive outcomes after experiencing traumatic events also demonstrate a higher level of information seeking and sharing of what they learn to prevent the cycles from continuing. We can't forget to tell our stories. We can't let people forget the names that were so important to getting us to this point. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Emmett Till, John Lewis, Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, Medgar Evers, Stokely Carmichael, Ella Baker, Fannie Lou Hamer. So many people have contributed to getting us to where we are today, and we can't forget them. So the first thing we want to do to make sure that our communities are thriving is to teach. We have to educate each other and ourselves on our history, the good, the bad, the ugly, and indifferent. We want to tell our own stories, our folk tales, our cultural norms and patterns that are healthy and will continue to help us strive and thrive. We want to organize and work together to make sure that we are making a significant and lasting change. We can't do it alone. We have to strategize. So we have to be intentional about developing those healthy cultures and legacies that we want to pass on to the next generation. And finally, we always want to celebrate and support each other. We want to uplift one another. We want to celebrate our wins and reinforce every goal that we have achieved. As the late, great Nipsey Hussle said, the marathon continues. And we're going to be all right, because now we're not just living to survive, but to thrive. Well, that's it for now, guys. The Thriving Throughout series might be over, but this will not be the last you hear from me. Make sure you are following and subscribing to my Instagram and YouTube channels to make sure that you are up to date on any new developments. Thanks again, and see you next time.